Live. Alrighty, folks, we are back. And joining me, of course,
finally.
Yes, joining me, of course, wonderful Rowan.
Hello.
We're doing the final bits of Echo. So, let's just, as ever, what is Echo, Rowan?
Echo is a furry visual novel dating simulator. That is gay, but also it's not. It's a horror. Sykes, jokes on you. Trigger warnings for fucking everything. I do think that is the best way to describe the game. Like, you can sit there for hours basically being like, trigger warning for child murder, trigger warning for trauma, trigger warning for sexual assault, trigger warning for, you know...
Yeah, there's a lot of it.
There's a lot of everything. It's not badly written, and it's not exploitatively written, which are important factors.
Yep.
But they are all there. Everything is there. If you are easily upset by horror that usually occurs in psychological horrors, watch something else. Find a cute furry game. There's plenty of them.
So, we've done everyone's path. We have done all the characters' main paths, but we haven't done... Let's go up here. And we go... This is where all the individual people's paths were. But there's somewhere... Do you remember where it is?
We clicked on.
There it is. So this is where you can jump to. So Carl, Leo, TJ, Flynn. Took a while to remember that. That's how long it's been. Jenna, and then we're on these ones. Now these ones are the bonus ones that we didn't get to. So this is the last. What is this? Why is this sparkling?
Oh, I have no idea. What's that?
I don't know.
Let's click on it.
Oh, it's just the artwork again.
Ah.
So that must be how you go back and forth. Alright, so we just need to do these. I think we did Date, which was TJ, and Runaway, which was Jenna.
Yes.
So we've done these.
I don't know
those
if we did
two.
lights.
I don't think we did lights.
No.
So we've got lights, phone, party, metaphor, and trip. And this is the explaining little bits, extra bits, I think. I imagine phone will be about Leo. The rest could be anyone. So, shall we begin?
Let's do this.
So, lights. I think we'll know immediately if we've done it already. November 2010. I don't think we've done this one.
What a hellish year.
I looked down at the... Oh, hang on. We have done this one, I think. This is
Yeah,
on
we
TJ at the
did.
disco.
Yeah. And we had that bit of artwork with him staring out into the distance.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the one of TJ in the disco. Okay, we have done this one. We will quit back out and do the next... Oh, I didn't mean to quit the game. I just meant to quit back to menu. Okay. Oh, well. Back in we go. Hopefully it pops back up on screen. There we go. Right.
For a free game, there's a lot of content.
There is a lot of content. And I genuinely am happy to include it in the sort of end of games of the year that I've played through, because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, like, I still think I preferred Flynn's route most of all.
I think
I like the horror in that.
Flynn's route was a lot more of the kind of horror that, yes, it's kind of smash mouth, but it's also quite open about itself, I guess. It's kind of... It does feel like it was sort of swirling down, whereas the rest of them felt like they were building, whereas Flynn's one did just feel like it was being dragged down in a spiral, in a sort of good way, though.
Yeah.
So, yes,
Romance is dead in the water by midweek.
Alright, well, let's see. I imagine it's going to be a bit Leo. Let's see phone.
I haven't got the stream up.
Oh, I forgot it will cancel, won't it? Because I did I accidentally closed the game. 2 seconds. There we go. May 2010.
2012.
Yes, 2012. I was looking at the ones and zeros backwards for some reason. May 2012. I pull up to the old fast food joint in my shitty old truck, the fan blasting hot desert air. I look around the Sunbake parking lot, but don't see Chase's car yet. This'll be Leo
Yes,
then.
Leo.
Taking out my phone, I check the time and scan through messages. He told me he got out for lunch 15 minutes ago, but it's 20 minutes later now. There's a little pang of worry, mostly because I know how shitty a driver Chase is, but he's usually late, so I quash that. I give my pits a quick check. Driving around with a broken AC is fucking torture in this weather, but the antiperspirant seems to be holding up alright. After giving them a quick sniff, I decline and put my paws behind my head to air out and maybe catch a quick nap. Sure, it's a pain in the ass having to come down here when I'm this tired. Dad's working me to goddamn bone and the restaurant is on the opposite side of Peyton. But seeing Chase makes it worth it. It isn't often that we get to have lunch together, the lunch hour being as short as it is only gives us about 20 minutes to really talk. I start to doze off when I hear a knock on my window. I give a little start and open my eyes, squinting against the desert sun reflecting on the car bumper in front of me. Looking at my left, Chase's adorable little otter face greets me through the window, grinning. All of the bad mood I had earlier evaporates away as if water under the fucking sun, and Chase steps back as soon as I open the door. Hey babe.
Wait, he wasn't he meant to be
oh yes, he was.
Yorkshire
hey
or something, or West Country?
Yep, West Country.
Yeah.
West Country Leo, that was it. I step out and pull him into a hug.
Mexican West Country Leo.
He says it against my chest, rubbing his nose like he always does while I run my paws around his back. Man, that swim team really slimming you down. I pinch his sides appreciatively. He wiggles into my fingers and returns the favour to my own waist. And you're getting squishy. Hey. I pretend to be offended, giving him a mock growl, letting it vibrate from my chest into his nose. Wouldn't be that way if you didn't keep picking fat factories like this. No more football don't help either. I like it. I'm actually really proud of him right now. He used to be so worried about people seeing us like this, but now he's hugging me like no one's around. I decide to go a bit further and give him a quick lick on one of his stubby cute ears, and he gives a little shiver and laughs. Stop. Let's go inside. It's too hot out here. As he turns away from me, he lets his thick tail push against my crotch, shoving my junk against my body. It actually hurts more than feels good. He really doesn't know how strong that thing is, but it gets me going anyway. After we put in our orders and get our drinks, we both stare down at the greasy table, Chase swiping an old fry off his booth. You know, I would love to go to a different restaurant if we had time and I had the money. He's fine, as long as we're not doing it every day. I stretch back, purposely puffing my chest out so my already tight shirt hugs my body even tighter. Fucking Leo. It's not lost on
Leo, man.
It's not lost on Chase as he gazes at my chest, rough, poking through my shirt, and I'm satisfied that I see a longing look come across his face. That's not fair, Leo. I've got another 3 hours of school. Just showing you what's waiting for you at home. He rolls his eyes before pulling out his phone. Hey, no texting. Let's talk. What do you want to talk about? He doesn't put it away. Well, I toy with a straw in my cup. Is now a good time to bring it up? I always get annoyed when people see people making a scene in restaurants. Like, it's a perfect place to tell someone it's over or that they're gay. But Chase seems to be in a good mood. It's probably as good time as any. Have you decided what you're going to do after school?
Oh no.
Chase finally puts his phone down on the table and closes his eyes, sighing, and that makes me nervous. Don't worry about that right now, Leo. I've still got a few months to decide. Fuck. How can he not worry when all that's going to do is make me worry? And the way he says it, it sounds like he's already made a decision. I open my muzzle again, but he stands up, straightening his tight shirt as he does. Going to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I grunt as he heads off towards the back of the restaurant while I slump in my seat. The idea of Chase leaving is fucking terrifying. We've been this way for the past 2.5 years, and the way he's treating this decision like it's just a fucking annoyance makes me all the more frustrated. I feel that this relationship has only really come into its own over the past year, mostly because Chase has turned 18 and we don't have to worry about the stupid shit anymore. His phone buzzes a few times and I look at it out of habit, then it starts really buzzing and I realise someone's calling him. Incoming call. Jared. A face I don't recognise pops up on the screen. It's a wolf of some kind, a grey wolf I think. He's ridiculously handsome, model handsome actually. I furrow my brows and look back behind me at the bathroom, but Chase isn't there. Fuck it. I could just say I was picking up for him anyway.
Oh no.
I grabbed the phone and stabbed the green pickup before holding it up to my ear. Since Chase's stubby muzzle thing going for him, his phone doesn't pull out like mine, so I have to try and direct my voice into the side of my mouth. Who's this? I curse silently as I realise that if I wanted to be the guy to talk, that probably wasn't the best way to do it, and sure enough I hear a click as he hangs up. I feel my heart beating fast and put the phone down from my ear. I stare at the screen for a while and barely realise it goes black. There's no way he'd do this, would he? I slide my finger around the blank screen for a while, then turn it back on as I navigate to the texts. Sure enough, there's a thread under the name Jared with over 1,000 texts. My throat's dry as I tap on it and look at the most recent messages. 11:52. Hey boy, where are you at? 11:55. I miss you. 12:02. Calling now. Was that bracket 3? The heart one?
Yeah, it's like a heart, yeah.
Hey. I whip my head up to see Chase staring down at me with an exasperated grin on his muzzle. I almost lower my ears in shame at being caught, but I catch myself before I do. He's the one that has some explaining to do. Who the fuck is this? I shove the phone in his face, realising that I've lost my chance at approaching this delicately. I also noticed a few heads turning our way and suddenly become that guy I don't want to be. Chase takes his phone and quickly sits down, his eyes wide as he makes a shushing shape with his mouth. That only pisses me off more, but at the same time I feel something really sharp and painful in my chest. Is this really happening? So you're leaving? Oh, you are leaving? Running off to fuck some other wolf? Now people are really staring, and Chase winces as he ducks his head lower to the table. It's a joke, Leo, calm down. A joke? I don't understand what that means exactly, but I'm starting to. I don't say anything, so Chase keeps going. Jenna, we were trying to have some fun. I was starting to realise this probably wasn't the best time, but... Jenna. That explains it, but the anger and betrayal I'm feeling doesn't go away like it should. Now I'm livid. So you're playing this stupid game of keeping me guessing whether or not you're going to ditch me next year, and you pulled this shit? I raise my voice for the last part, and there's a noticeable lull in the conversations around us. A few people glance at us, then look away, but I can tell all their ears are pointed in our direction. Outside, Leo. He says it like he's talking to a toddler, then stands up and goes straight for the door. Again, I'm pissed off even more at the way he's treating me like a little kid. I deserve it, I know, but I can't help it. I follow him out to the hot air, again trying to ignore the heads turning as I walk by. The hell is wrong with you? He whirls on me. I'm shocked that he looks almost angry as I am. Me? I told you there's no way in hell you'd fall for this since you already knew how I felt about you. I'm the one that should be fucking offended that you'd think that. That's not fair. You wanted a reaction from me and you got one, happy? I fold my arms and glare at him. Chase folds his arms too and slumps against the wall, looking away from me. He's sad, and that fucking hurts. I was looking forward to this all day, and he probably was too. It's almost enough to make me take everything back. Almost. Then Jenna shows up, her light blonde fur almost making her hard to look at as she lights up under the sun. She comes running over from the parking lot to hop on the sidewalk standing next to Chase. I should have known how strange it was that Chase would park so far away from me. She'd been sitting there this whole time, probably watching us through the window.
What's wrong, Leo?
The glee in her voice brings it all back, and I realise who I'm really mad at. She probably pushed him into the whole thing. This was your idea? I reach out and grab the phone from Trace's paw and hold it out to her. She's still grinning though, and the initial happiness morphs into a more condescending look that makes me grit my teeth.
It's a prank, Leo.
Making me think I just lost my order as a prank? If this is a fucking joke, then you need to learn how to make one first.
Why don't you learn how to take one?
How was I supposed to take that? Just laugh and shrug and say, well, fuck, so much for that? Is that what you expected? I throw my arms out in a big exasperated shrug. Jenna frowns and lowers her ears.
Actually, we just thought you wouldn't fall for it. At least not this hard. I mean, come on. I cropped that from the cover of some teen magazine. It was my number too, if you didn't notice.
She continued to frown at me. Chase is still looking away from us, and I feel like a big asshole that's ruined everyone's fun. It just wasn't a good time, alright?
No.
No. Why the fuck is she doing this right now? I just wanted to talk to Chase alone. I looked back in the restaurant. The server behind the counter was looking at us, a tray of food in her paws. Some of the patrons are staring too, like I give a fuck. What the hell are you doing here anyway?
Semester ended last week.
So you're staying at home for the summer? I give her a confused look.
Of course not. I'm staying with Emily.
I take a deep breath and close my eyes. I'd honestly be happier to hear Jenna was going to be around for the summer if she hadn't introduced herself in such a fucked up way. I hear her give a heavy sigh and open my eyes to see her rubbing her head like I'm just a big disappointment.
You need to calm down, Leo. How can we have fun if you're exploding all the time?
I grit my teeth again and have to work not to snarl. Telling me to calm down is the worst thing you can do right now. I'm tired, I'm hot, and I just want to have lunch with Chase. Glance at the phone to see it's already 20 past the hour, which means Chase has to leave now. I squeeze the phone hard on my paw, but Jenna doesn't seem to notice.
You're overreacting.
I feel something snap inside, and rather than chuck the phone in Jenna's direction, I spin and start to throw it down the sidewalk. I realise at the last second that it's Chase's phone I'm throwing, and I try to grab it back up at the same time I throw it. I only succeed in clipping the corner, which sends it into a flip before it hits the concrete. The crunch sound along with the sparkling spray of glass tells us that I just smashed the phone to hell. I wince and flatten my ears. I stare at the little black square for a while, feeling both the eyes in the back of my head. I don't know Spanish. Do you know Spanish?
No.
Que mierda for eso? As close as it's gonna get. I curse myself, though I've said it enough times before to know Chase recognises the phrase. Slowly I turn around, my face flushing as I try to meet eyes with him. I'm sorry, I'll buy you... I'm going to Pueblo, Leo. He's looking at me now, and the hazel eyes feel like they're piercing right through me. I stare at him for a second as if I didn't understand before my stomach sink even as I speak. What? He's sucking his cheeks to stop himself from frowning, the way he does when he's trying not to cry. Jenna's silent, looking away, but my gut tells me she already knows this and starts to bring back some of the anger. What the hell are you talking about? I said I'm going to Pueblo in August. I got accepted in January. I don't know what to say. I feel like I've been punched in the stomach and I can't get the air back to make words. I say all I can manage. Chase. He turns away from me.
I gotta go back. I'm already gonna be late.
Jenna looks over me and I finally see some remorse on her face before she jogs to catch up with Chase. I hear her start to apologise. I watch him go, desperately want to run up and put my arms around him and tell him I'm sorry, but I know that'll probably make things worse. He likes to be left alone when he's pissed like this, but after dropping that bomb I want to talk to him right now. No, we'll figure this out. I just need to talk to him once school lets out. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Just a few more hours. I'll watch them pull out the parking lot and wish he'd look at me as they drive past, but he doesn't. Neither does Jenna. I hesitate then pick up Chase's phone because he's going to need it to recover some shit when I buy a new one. Then hop in my truck. I sit there for a second, not sure what to do. I feel sick and angry and tired all at the same time. A lot of this is my fault. I punch the steering wheel, and that feels good, so I do it again and again, then I realise people are still staring at me through the window. I flip them off before putting the truck into gear. This is why Chase is leaving me, because I can't control my fucking temper sometimes. No, not leaving me, just working things out. As I'm driving down the road, the churning in my gut finally getting to me. I pull my phone out, looking up and continue to correct my steering. I type what I hope is a heartfelt apology. In the middle of it all, I remember that his phone is sitting in my cup holder fucking broken. I finally let out a snarl I've been holding back and throw my phone into the passenger seat, accidentally swerving and setting off a few honks. I grip the steering wheel with both paws, blinking furiously as the road starts to blur. No, I'm not gonna cry. This will work out fine, we just need to talk like we always do. And even if he does leave, we'll work something out. I'm not gonna fuck this up. I'm not gonna lose my temper ever again. I'm not gonna lose him.
Oh boy.
Well, it's a very Leo thing.
Very much so. Dear God, that fucking agony, the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. I like how it repeats the line, like, we'll work something out, as compared to it's over. Like, that choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It very much reflects Leo's outlook on it all. and the obsession side, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, well, shall we
Party.
go into party then?
Yeah.
It's party time.
Let's do this.
October 2012. So, several months later.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, do you know where the keys are? I dig through my pockets again, but my fingers only rake the grocery shopping list I make and some chump change from the soda I bought earlier. A brief hope, a glimmer of salvation bubbles to the surface when I feel something metal and pointy. When I bring it out though, it's just an old keychain I won at the fair and never bothered to take out. It's even still got the sticker on it.
Didn't you leave them on your desk?
His voice is barely audible of what I can only imagine are 10-year-olds he's playing the shooter with.
I thought I saw them on your desk.
I already checked, they're not. I opened the closet drawer. It's filled to the brim with old comics, but still no keys.
Maybe they got thrown in the trash by accident?
Why would... I rub the bridge of my snout. I'm in no rush to get out today because the party won't start for an hour and a half at least, but I won't get anywhere without the car keys. Our dorm isn't the largest, but right now it still feels like I'm trying to find a needle in a haystack. A haystack that's usually very well organised. As per usual, I blame Carl.
What do you...
I hear the sound of a rocket launcher going off. Carl follows up with a stream of swear words like which I haven't heard since we were 12 and hanging out with Flynn after school.
What do you need them for anyway? I got the groceries this morning.
Weed? You got weed this morning, Carl. I can smell it from here. I hear an awkward chuckle.
You know how it is. Healthy greens. Anyway, where are you going?
I scour another drawer. This one's full of greeting cards, old ones by the look of it, congratulating Carl and me for getting into college. I flip each one over before shutting it again. I'm heading to Vincent's place, remember? I thought I told you. Left one of the vases Carl's mum gave us when we left town.
You're actually going? I thought you said you were going to study tonight.
Nah, I got invited. A couple of my friends will be there, so I'm going. I spot the keys and let out a sound with, once I set it in my mouth, I realised it resembled a deflating balloon. They're right here, Carl. Jesus. They're sitting on the shelf right next to the TV. I picked them up. I almost feel like I'm doing a little victory dance at this point. I've been looking for these damn things for a solid hour already. Carl's still as stone faced as ever. I don't know if he has weed, if he's had weed, or if he's just in a bad mood. Maybe both. I sit on the bed with him. It's a far more comfortable mattress than the ones that came with the dorm. I think Carl's parents had it specially ordered when he left town. Carl doesn't tear his eyes off the game.
Dude, get off my back. I didn't mean to. Shit.
The round's over. The cacophony of voices that is served in the backdrop of a conversation abruptly dies out, replaced with the most generic orchestral music I've ever heard. Carl's got one of the worst score on the board. I don't even have time to say anything before he tosses the controller off to the side. It's a small miracle it doesn't break on impact, seeing how hard he's tossing it around. I cross my arms behind my head and get comfortable. You alright, man? You seem kinda mad.
Yeah,
Carl's hands go to the pockets of the ripped jeans.
that could be better.
Really? I absent-mindedly draw a finger over the keychain and my car keys, the one with a picture of Leo on it. I think it's the first picture I've ever taken with my own camera. Carl notices from the corner of his eye and playfully smacks my paw away, though it seems to remind him of something as he turns to me and opens his muzzle.
How are you holding up with the whole Leo thing going on, I mean?
I have to ponder that for a moment myself. Leo doesn't cross my mind a lot these days, but when I do I think of him I feel empty, hollow. To the point where I wonder somewhere in the back of my mind if leaving Echo has been the right choice. In the end, however, I shake my head and snap out of it, as I always do when asked about Leo. I've done it for my parents, I've done it for my friends, and I've done it for myself when looking in the mirror, all alone late at night. It's better this way, you know? I mimic Carl's sitting position, thrusting my hands down into my jean pockets. I smirk, inching closer to him. Besides, I've got all the man I need right here. It's a poor way to lighten the mood, but Carl falls for it hard, making a mock face of disgust.
Ew, pardon, but I don't associate with no queers.
He does his best southern drawl. I snort. So those last, what, 9 years that was just you letting me down gently?
Exactly.
He notices the way I'm sitting, shifts his leg around and pulls his hands out of his pockets.
I'm glad you finally got it after all this time. It's weight off my shoulders.
And here I thought we had something special. We laughed together, almost enough to forget about Echo for a moment. Almost.
So, this Vincent guy, is it a date or...
I roll my eyes. It's just a party. Jeez, nothing's gonna happen.
Sorry, it's gone really bad there.
Oh, okay.
Reloads. Okay. If he tries anything funny, just give me a call.
Carl takes a large swig from a 2-litre soda bottle sitting next to him. It's almost captivating to watch him down it all in the span of roughly an hour. I think his record's still at 45 minutes.
I'll come pick you.
He cuts himself off for the burp.
Pick you up.
It's a 5-minute drive. I'll be fine, thanks, though.
Your mum made me promise to look after you, man.
He slams the bottle down a bit too hard. Soda erupts from the bottle and stains his pants.
Well, fuck.
I laugh. Sounds like you need more help than I do. He wags a finger at me.
Shut it. Can you pass me the towel?
Don't want to come with? I toss him the towel hanging over the back of his chair. He invited you too.
Nah, you know me, Chase. I'm no good at parties.
He's vigorously rubbing at the stain, but it won't come out no matter how much pressure he applies. Hell, I don't even think it's really drying. When he realises that he shoots me a pleading glance and a tiny bit of despair in his eyes. Looks he's given me many times since we were kids. I know exactly what it means. Nope, you're on laundry duty today, Carl, remember? I fold my arms over my chest. And you're cooking tomorrow. I've got a lecture in the afternoon, something about the importance of composition and photography. He groans and stretches.
Composition and photography? Sounds pretty interesting.
It is pretty interesting. I one of the magazines sitting on the table. It's a few months back before we even got here. A layer of dust is starting to form on them. What about your classes?
Hmm?
The way he's looking at me, you'd think I said something offensive.
My what?
I drag a finger through the dust and bring it to my face. My paw pad's all grey now and the dust my paws kicked up is almost enough to give me a coughing fit. Your classes, how are they?
Oh,
He shrinks back into his seat like he's trying to hide behind his hoodie. He finally just shrugs.
Okay, I guess. Not bad.
I raise an eyebrow. Just okay?
It's a business major, Chase.
He's given up on rubbing the stain.
Not much going on besides numbers, numbers, and more numbers.
He snorts.
I don't even know how my mum can keep track of them all. So many numbers.
I chuckle. Almost sounds like college.
Maybe I should have stayed in Echo. I'm not really cut out for this stuff.
I gently squeeze his shoulder. He pulls his beanie down to the point it's almost covering his eyes, and I can see him nodding under there, I think. I let it sit there. I don't want to make Carl uncomfortable. His parents put enough pressure on him as it is. Instead, I just put a hand on his shoulder. He leans into the touch, a smile appearing on his face again. He picks up the controller once more and starts a new game. He hastily points towards a second controller.
You still have time, right?
I look at Carl's pleading grin, then at my watch. Indeed, I still have another hour or two I really need to leave. I've already freshened up and everything. Before I've even managed to grab the controller, almost tripping over the clothes and trash on the floor in the meantime, Carl's already started a match. The voices start up again, there's accusations and shit slinging about already. Gonna be playing online?
Of course you're playing online. The bots are way too easy.
I thought we could just do a versus match or something. My character gets taken down with a headshot almost as soon as I'm in. There's some shrieking on the other end.
Come on, Chase, get it together.
I'm not used to these controls. I've played one of these older games in the series before, mostly back in Echo during the summer when it was so hot you couldn't even go outside without spontaneously combusting. This one's got an entirely different control scheme, and I only managed to get a grip to it after dying a few times. If Flynn was here, I'm sure he'd have a jab ready. I'm better at side-scrollers, you know. I get stabbed 10 times in the chest by a guy whose nickname leaves a lot to be desired. And fighting games.
You suck at fighting games too.
I credit him. I do not suck at fighting games. I beat your ass last time, remember?
Only because you used the cheapest character and kept spamming the same move.
It stings just a little, but he isn't lying, now that I think about it. I remember reading somewhere that the character I used isn't allowed in tournaments because of how broken he is. Actually, he ended up being my favourite. Didn't help that he was cute too. Well, you could have dodged it after the 5th time I used it.
Seriously?
He takes another swig from his bottle, some droplets fall in his hoodie.
That was a bullshit combo and you know it. Sorry, got a mouthful.
It's alright. Somehow I managed to land a headshot on the guy who killed me and curl that's at a war cry like so it's like a dying frog. A bit too soon as I stand out of cover a bit too long, which sends my rocket to the face of the player who was standing right next to said guy. I swear through gritted teeth, but I persevere. After getting killed by the guy who blatantly shooting me through walls, however, I just give up.
Cheetah.
It's whatever, I guess. I shift in the bed, kicking up my legs. How about a couple levels of claw destruction? I think I'm done with this one for now, if that's okay. After grabbing a granola bar from the kitchen cabinet, I'm finally on my way to the party. Only half my mind's actually focusing on the road, the other half can't stop grumbling about the heat. I probably should have put something on other than my jeans, maybe shorts, or would that look silly? Vince's place is near the other side of campus. It's a short drive, but in this heat it feels like miles. My parents' whole car doesn't have air conditioning. It'll make visiting them back in Echo torture if I do decide to go back there. 2 seconds, I just need to mute my mic because I'm going to cough my head off, so 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Much better. Jesus, what was that?
That was me accidentally hitting my microphone.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. It's one of the big things that comes across the side and holds it up.
Oh, so I've sort of been... Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But it means every time I go and try and get my glass of juice, I knock it.
That's fair. Perhaps one day. For now, I'm pretty content where I am. Even though I've seen it often, I'm always struck by how gorgeous the campus looks at sunset. Echo's got some nice views, but Pueblo just kicks it to the curb in every aspect. Looks exactly what the brochures make it out to be, which I've heard is pretty impressive for a place like this. I'm just happy it's got indoor and outdoor pools. Won't be able to survive a week without those. Just driving in this weather makes me seriously long for air conditioning. There's a couple of cars in the parking lot in front of the building already. Mine looks out of place next to the newer models. Then again, I suppose I'm a bit less affluent than compared to most of the students around here, with their muscle cars and scholarships. Didn't stop me from getting in, at least. Some of the people I recognise from my class wave at me as I pass them. Others ignore me and keep on smoking just out of sight. Judging by the smell, it's weed, so I shouldn't be surprised. People seem to be a lot more lax about it here than they are back home. It might just be one of the reasons Carl's mom had him go to this university. It takes me a couple of rings to realise the doorbell's busted, even longer to notice a tiny slip of paper stuck to the door telling me to go around the back. When I do, I'm met with a jovial grin of a wolf who really looks like he's the one too many. Vincent walks towards me, arms spread open wide. He's wearing a plain white t-shirt and the most casual shorts. Looks like I did put on too many layers. When I return to the awkward hug he tries to give me, I can smell cheap liquor in his breath, a far cry from the diligent student he usually is during classes.
Do you want me to do?
Yeah, you do, Vincent.
Yeah. Chase, how are you, man?
Doing just fine, thanks. Nice party you've got going here, lots of people. He chuckles, patting my back.
There's more inside. Way more. Come on in. I'll show you.
I follow him into the building, through some small hallways. I notice Jenna standing on the other end when we turn the corner, looks like she's busy reading something. I call out to her, but it doesn't seem like she can hear me. Just when I'm about to try again, Vincent tugs me into his room. It's spacious, I'll give him that much. Busy too. There's tons of people in the living room area alone. Some of them are playing beer pong, others chatting. Well, it's more like they're shouting to each other over the loud music. A girl from my class I've been working together on a project with, Lana, sits in a corner playing with her phone. She's wearing a rather eye-catching revealing red dress and I'm pretty sure violates some university dress code. Sometimes. Oh, sometimes she giggles to herself. That was a full stop, I was really confused. When I catch her eye, she immediately puts it away and steps over to me.
There you are, Chase. It's not like you to be this late.
She grins from ear to ear, displaying her almost eerily white teeth. Leaning against the wall, lining the crowd from a distance with her. I had trouble finding a good parking spot. How's the party? Anything crazy going on?
It's been pretty routine so far. We're just getting to the good part.
She smiles, tipping her muzzle towards the table.
The drinks are over there.
The good part? Next to me, Vincent nods and tilts his muzzle towards the kitchen. His ears perk up.
Lana and I went out to get something special for the guests.
Part of me already knows what it's going to be. Probably booze or something. But from what I've heard, it's what college parties are all about. I don't know. It's the first one I've ever been to. Something special, huh? What is it?
We'll see.
She grabs her phone again, tapping away on it like she's writing a novel.
It's gonna be good.
I kick back and enjoy the party for a bit. This good thing sounds pretty questionable, even more so since Lana disappears into the kitchen before returning with a big silver tray. She passes it from person to person, everyone taking something from it. I try not to think about it too much. By the looks of it, it's not just the usual party snacks. It takes it a while to get everyone, so I just grab a can of soda from the cooler on the table. It's an off-brand, I guess the booze is much more important. Finally, Lana thrusts the tray in front of my face with the widest of smiles. Her enthusiasm only leaves me disappointed when I find nothing but blueberry muffins. Blueberry muffins that smell kind of funny, like they've been out for a few days already. Like cakes Janice was selling in the diner a few years back. Oh, Chase.
Oh, that innocent boy.
Yep.
So blueberry to go with that stuff.
I wonder if they're edible.
Kind of edible.
But like, would that even like hide the taste all that well? Like, it's usually chocolate, isn't it?
Usually it's chocolate, yeah. I mean, it depends really what you're...
Oh, I totally do. Oh, no, I didn't say anything.
What was that, Mary?
I definitely need to make some cakes that are edible for when the new Dune movie comes out.
You were thinking of what, Mary?
I wasn't thinking about making special brownies, not at all.
No, not at all, no.
I'm a good person now.
I scratched the back of my head. They're just muffins? What's the big deal? A large lime with a long braided mane pipes up behind her. Special recipe, man. They're edibles. I've seen that lion around campus before, but I don't know his name, just his face. I think he's in Carl's class. Like, drugs? Oh no, we're not going to have a say no. This is the kind of thing we're going to
drug.
We're going to have a say no to drugs campaign now.
A drug? I don't do a drug.
A drug?
No drugs here.
A drug? We can't do drug. Drug is bad.
Drug?
Drug is bad, yes. I take one of the muffins up from the tray and bring it up to my nose, up close. It just smells awful. I narrow my eyes. You'd better not be pulling a prank on me.
No prank. You should try one, Chase.
She grins at me. She seems honest enough. Not that I think she's trying to poison me. Now that I think about it, Carl told me about edibles once, about a year ago I think. Time's been ticking by way too fast since I graduated from high school. I can't remember what he told me about them, specifically something about not being able to get high from them. Then again, Carl's probably used to stuff that's a lot heavier. Around people are already popping them in their muzzles like it's no big deal. This probably isn't a prank then, unless they laced just one of them and this is going to be some weird Russian roulette with muffins kind of thing. Oh, if you've never seen a party where they've only got one fucking pill because it's all they can afford, and no one knows which one it is, and they all think they're fucking high, they're bad parties. They are bad parties.
They are.
No, just get enough fucking drugs.
I've only been to one of those, and it was when I was back at uni, and I was like, nah, you're fine, because it was like they wanted like people to chip in if they wanted it, and they had one fucking pill between like 8 of them, and it was basically blind who got it, and they were all like, now are you going to think you're affected, or are you actually affected? Nobody knows. And you just watch 8 of them just lose their shit because none of them know if they're high or not, and you're like, oh fucking hell.
If you don't know,
I do
then
prefer
they're not good
edibles
pills to begin with.
Smoking. I find smoking is more likely to make me sleepy.
Yes.
You know. Which is very frustrating. But yeah, I do need to do some baking when the new Doom movie comes out.
Oh.
Did I tell you about how fucking stoned I was during?
You did. That sounds amazing.
Oh boy, I was not on this fucking planet. I was gone.
Oh god.
It's
Alright,
fun though.
let's see if Chase gets high then. See if we get any multicolours.
Stoned Chase.
Should I do this? I mean, I promised my parents to try and be responsible while away from home, but I don't think this would hurt. If it does, I can always just leave.
Yeah, it's a fucking brownie.
It's yeah. It's gonna be an hour of this doesn't do anything, and then 3 hours of whipping and running around the house in like your boxers and one shoe. Everyone's eyes are on me when I stick it in my mouth. This is peer pressure and makes the fur on the back of my neck stand on end. It's not as gross as I expected it to be, at least. Thank God, I can still taste a bit of blueberry in there. The weed part though, well, I've never used weed, so I don't know what that tastes like. If this is it, it's something special. Hell, I don't even feel anything. God. Lana sets the tray down on the coffee table. A sheep sitting on the couch takes a muffin from it as soon as she leaves it alone.
How is it? You okay?
I mean, this is what I also don't understand. Usually these things take a long time to kick in.
Yeah, like at least an hour.
Yeah, so I'm like, why are you
Usually
asking
too.
them? Why are you asking them now? Are they okay? They're like, they're not gonna fucking know.
Like they've just had it.
It's more hilarious when people think they're not working and then have 3 more
Yeah, and then they start kicking in.
and they're like, I don't want to live anymore. I've seen that happen and it's hilarious.
Yeah, I've literally watched someone come in and eat the wrong batch of cookies, and then be like, oh, I just ate like all of them, it was fine, and then they're like, they were particular cookies, and they're like, oh, I'll be fine. And I was like, just be careful the rest of the day. Like, oh, I'll be fine. And 4 hours later, you find them hanging upside down from something, and you're just like, yep, they were definitely the wrong band of cookies. Anyway, that's enough rambling about drugs. Let's carry on with this. I shrug my shoulders and drink my soda. Such a hardball. Don't really feel anything. Her lips stretch into a thin line. She looks down at the tray again with a frown. Huh.
Huh?
Oh, sorry. The lion speaks up again, taking a swig from the beer bottle he's holding. Maybe it wasn't that strong. Why are they expecting it to work immediately?
It's... Oh, they are in fucking uni, to be fair. They probably don't know. And it is rich kid uni.
Oh, God.
Oh no, a drug. What if Lord Papa finds out? I sure as hell felt it when I ate mine. Maybe he's just immune to it or something.
I don't get
Just
this.
ignore it.
Let's just ignore it and pretend we know nothing about drugs. But yeah, know about your drugs before you fucking take them, kids.
I know nothing about weed, says Rowan, who is high.
Mm-hmm. If you're gonna take stuff like edibles and stuff, at least know how long they're gonna work for and how fucking strong it is. That's all you fucking need to know. You don't need to know everything about it. Just need to know how long it takes to kick in from someone that actually fucking knows this shit. That's all you fucking need to know with these things. Because
Yeah.
thinking it acts immediately is fucking ridiculous. Unless you take it
Yeah.
like through your eye or something. Anyway, let's carry on.
Intravenous brownie.
I shake my head. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe it just hasn't kicked in yet. Vince gives my back a smack.
Maybe. I didn't think it'd be such a heavyweight face.
It's a compliment I don't know quite how to take or even comprehend. In fact, even standing feels difficult to grasp the concept. I find myself wobbling on my feet once he pulls back his hand. Lightheaded doesn't even begin to describe it. Again, it wouldn't affect you this quickly, but let's just move on.
Just pretend. Enjoy the weird effect.
Yeah, dizzy, nauseous, about to barf. That's more apt description. I stumble back and forth to keep myself upright, clinging to the nearest flat surface, but it doesn't really help. The ground is moving underneath my feet. I mean, then again, we think it's weed, but it could easily be acid if it's going this quickly.
Yeah.
Then again,
never
that
had
would be a big investment.
Acid still takes a fucking while.
Oh, it does, yeah, but it's faster than weed.
It depends on...
If they are the one that dissolves in your... is it acid that dissolves in your tongue that goes really quickly?
It very much depends on how you do it. You have, like, seals that you can put under your tongue, but you can also get it in liquid form.
Yeah, it's a liquid form I've had, I say, experience with. I've been spiked with. So yeah.
But then again, it also depends on how you administer the liquid form to how. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, I stumble back and forth to keep myself upright, trying to cling to the nearest flat surface, but it doesn't really help. The ground is moving underneath my feet. Oh yeah, that's true. Until you've seen someone literally trying to hold on to the ground, you've not been at a proper drug party.
I mean, that was me first time I did weed.
Were there 2 people before? Now I see 4, swaying from side to side as everything spins around me. It's like I'm out on a raft in the middle of the ocean. 20 minutes into the party and I'm already completely out of it. This is probably setting all kind of party records. This is what being high feels like? What the hell is in those things?
Shit, Chase.
I recognise her voice, but when I turn to look at Lana, she's just a blur, a featureless blob of red and white ever shifting.
Chase, are you okay?
What's wrong with him? Someone's tugging at my arm, but gravity's currently working against me in every possible way. Hold on. I'll pretend it's the lion then. Hold on. Come on. Get up. The moment I let go of the cabinet, I fall onto the floor. Any moment now I'm going to sink through it, where I'll end up, I don't know. My head hurts. My stomach hurts. The empty muffin liners on the floor next to me, I can still make out the pink frills.
Somebody call 911.
The despair in her voice is almost palpable. She takes hold of my wrist, my hand just flops around once she moves it. And get arrested, fuck no.
Fucking shit, I don't know what to do. What do I do?
I want to comfort her, tell her that I'll be fine even though it's a lie, but no sound comes out of my muzzle. I try to sit and push myself off the ground, but my back ends up hitting the floor again, followed by my ass. I hope I'm not being filmed right now. I just lay there, with my brain and body in complete disarray like this. There's no way of getting up anytime soon. And despite the screams, despite the loud music, despite everything, I feel my eyelids grow heavier and heavier. The world goes dark from my very eyes, and the last thing I think of before I'm out like a light is how comfortable the cold floor is. Jeez. I return to the land of the living with a long gasp for air. The scent of very strong coffee fills my nostrils. And since I realise I have control of my body again, I thrash in the sheets, which only leaves me tangled when I settle down. My breathing is still harsh, uneven, but I'm okay. I'm okay. Sheets. I'm in a bed? Not the floor? I polish up to my eyes, I rub them before opening them. There's a lot of gross shit in them. I've probably been out for quite a while. I can only imagine how bad I must be reeking right now. I'm still wearing the clothes I was wearing last night too. Fuck. The clock says it's just past 9. How did I manage to get back here? I have no idea. I try to think of what happened last night. My head just starts hurting more. Carl waltzes in like it's no one's business, wearing nothing but pyjama pants, looking a few sizes too big even for him. There's a piece of toast in his mouth and 2 mugs of coffee in his paws.
Oh, you're up. Here, I made coffee.
I can see that. Thanks, though. He sits down next to me, exhaling through his nostrils, just eating his toast. We made rules about only eating at the table, but right now I'm just glad to be awake and in good health. I speak up once my mug's half empty. So, what happened? How did I get back here? Carl noisily swallows the last bits of toast.
Well, a few guys and one girl dropped you off here a few hours after you left.
A shit-eating grin slowly spreads across his face.
You were completely zoned out, man. Talking about random shit and giggling like a kid. It's kind of funny to watch.
I glare at him and fold my arms. I'm sure it was. I was just glad all I got from it was a headache. I might not be invited to future parties, but I'd rather have that than I'm dead because I couldn't handle a muffin.
I got you some water and put you to bed.
He takes a large gulp of coffee and chuckles.
See, I could be responsible sometimes.
Sure. I set the mug down on the nightstand and wipe the rest of the sleep out of my eyes. God damn, I feel terrible.
So, your turn to answer my question.
He tucks his legs in like a kindergartner.
What happened last night? Did you get really drunk
Or...
You know.
He mimics taking a drag from a cigarette. No. My shakily utter denial is the most convincing... not the most convincing, but Carl doesn't seem to pick up on it, thank God. Hell no, I had a couple too many, that's all.
Even if you did try some, no fire off my back. I mean, look at me. I'm past just a little experimenting.
I fall quiet. It's a bit awkward to admit to doing something that I used to tease Carl for, especially when I fainted almost immediately after trying it. Maybe I'll tell him later, preferably when we're done with college, so it'll just be one of the many escapades. I do hope future escapades won't leave me feeling like I got hit by a train, though. I finally sit up. God, my back is stiff as it can be. What have you been up to while I was out?
Studying, believe it or not. That and laundry.
He stacks the 2 cups and stands up.
I washed your stuff too. It should be done by the time you're done with your shower. You got a lecture to go to, right?
Oh shit, yeah, the lecture. I bury my face in my paws and rub at my temples. I should be able to make it if I hurry. Looks like I just woke up in time, and surprisingly enough I have Carl to thank for it. Hey, Carl? He turns around, nearly dropping one of the coffee cups. I shoot him a smile. Thank you. Want to play some more Claws of Destruction when I get back?
You're on. So, Chase did a drug.
Chase did a drug, and it went badly for him.
Oh, poor Chase. I think
Saying
first
like
time I ended up doing weed, I ended up clinging to my best mate and just thinking I was falling backwards through time. It was quite funny.
I think the first time I did weed, I just vaguely remember just lying around in because we used to get drunk in a graveyard. Just remember just lying around, just sort of lying on the grass. I can't even remember anything about it. I just remember we were vaguely smoking weed that night.
First time I smoked weed, I didn't feel shit.
I was very drunk at the time.
It took me like 5-6 very strong joints before I started feeling it.
Yeah, I don't actually know how much I actually felt with it because of how fucking drunk I probably was.
We were doing a puff and pass in a back alley.
Ah.
And then when we got back in, I remember like getting some water because my mouth was kind of dry, and I looked at the floor and the floor tilted.
Ooh.
And I went, ah! And then I went and sat down and kind of clung on to James and kept my eyes closed for the next 2 hours.
I mean, everyone has different effects from it.
Yeah.
I don't think weed did too much for me. I mean, first, there's not really many drugs that have done much for me, but a couple of them have been relaxing, and that's kind of why I enjoy them.
No, I mostly use weed to sleep at this point.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, it does help with that,
Yeah.
especially when everything else is stressful.
I'm probably going to nap, and then when Jodie gets back, wake up for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to set an alarm.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on. We've got 2 left to go. We've got metaphor.
Yeah.
Metaphor.
Wonder who this one will be about.
Metaphor. Who's left?
So 2 years later.
2 years later, it's Flynn.
Ah.
Scales glistening with perspiration, seen through his open button-down shirt, Flynn hefts some boxes down the roller conveyor. The Gilead briskly walks over the pallet jack, pumping it vigorously. He drags a stacked-up pallet of 15 packs of 24-count spring water bottles across the stockroom to the truck's trailer. Dumping the pallet in, he drags the jack back out, haphazardly abandoning it mid-walk as he gets to the clerical counter. He picks up a clipboard, checking off the work he just did, examining the list intently. His tail whips back and forth, the orange splotch patterns looking like metallic in the sparse and incandescent light. He's been working overnight at the distribution centre for nearly 8 years. For some reason he hasn't grown numb to it. Finn plops the clipboard onto the counter, patting his pockets with scaled claws, and pulls out a pack of cigarettes and a lighter. Sean, an armadillo, sees him walking towards the side exit.
Where do you think you're going?
Taking my break. Sean rubs his face with both paws.
Okay, we're doing this tonight. You know we've still got 4 trailers left to fill, right?
Flynn pops a cigarette between his lips. Yeah, and we still got 5 hours in the fucking shift. I'll be back.
Your shift lead.
You know where to find me. Flynn leans against the building, unlit cigarette in his mouth, fidgeting with the lighter. It sparks over and over again, just never igniting. He sighs, slipping the lighter back in his pocket and switching it out for his phone. He scrolls through a few posts on social media, checking his messages, staring idly at the home screen. He perks up at some distant revving. He picks out a familiar pickup truck from across the parking lot, greeting it as it pulls up. About time. Were you too busy fapping at the moon? You like that? You're just lucky you happened to be up, otherwise you'd have no one to talk shit to. Flynn chuckles. Leo nods his head towards the Gillia's snout. Thought you didn't smoke no more. Flynn takes a cigarette out of his mouth. Yeah, I don't. So what, you just like chewing on him? Flynn clears his throat. Yeah, actually. Alright, man, it's great if you quit, but you know I don't care what you do, right? No, fuck. He lets out a breath. I'm serious, I quit, I don't like them. It's like you keep the thing that kills you between your teeth, or whatever. It's from a movie. It's really fucking cheesy, man. Flynn pockets a cigarette and shrugs. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I kinda liked it. Leo rolls his eyes, letting the sighing laugh. He puts his paws behind his head and leans back against the building next to Flynn, looking up at the full moon. He reaches over, running his paw softly over the Gillia's head spines. The reptile closes his eyes for a moment, humming at the touch. He looks over at the glinting pieces of silver on the wolf's wrist, shining in the moonlight. Leo looks too, their eyes locking briefly. Flynn snickers. Your eyes are weird as hell. You say they're brown, but they always look red in the light. I've been told that before. Leo puts his paw back. Why'd you stop? You know I like having my spines petted. Oh, my bad. I'm just messing with you. You're in a really good mood. Yeah, I just touch-starved, I guess. Oh, you need me that bad, huh? You want to make cuddles at work a regular thing? Settle down, I can get better tail than you whenever I want. Fuck you. Name the time and the place. They laugh for a while. They fall into a comfortable silence, listening to the sounds, looking at the sky. So, he's graduating in about a year now, right? We're supposed to have some sort of reunion? Leo leans back against the building. Jenna and Tage too. Exciting, right? We'll be a crew again, just like back then. Sure. Flynn takes his cigarette back out and rolls it around his fingers for a bit before returning it to his mouth. You don't seem all that excited. Flynn keeps it in his mouth as he speaks. We've had our separate lives these past few years, Leo. And a lot has happened too. Some of it, well, you know, some of it's fucked. Just don't be surprised if it's not the same. Leo sighs. Maybe. Either way, though, at least it'd be nice to see everyone again. For sure. Flynn takes the empty lighter back out. He strikes it once, twice, like how many times he has before, when he was feeling nervous or just needed something to do with his hands. He watches the sparks dance and die, searching desperately for gas, never finding any. He lifts a cigarette out of his mouth, eyes falling away from the wolf. He inhales. And I need to know where we stand, Leo. I don't want to get caught in the middle of that shit again. None of us do. The red wolf's shoulders ease down and he lets out a ragged sigh. He runs his paw up his snout, rubbing his eyes with a finger and thumb, then he looks back at the towering reptile. I love you and Chase as friends. Very good friends. That's good enough for me. Flynn studies the determined look in Leo's face. He puts the cigarette back in his mouth. When he speaks again, it's a level, almost monotone. I guess that's okay. If that's all you want. What do you mean? Flynn shrugs. Nothing.
That was a hard cut.
That was a hard cut.
Yeah. Kind of brutal.
So what can we take from that?
I mean, they were definitely fucking.
Definitely seems it.
Yep. Which adds even more emotional brunt to that argument, like river scene. Oh man, I'm in pain. I'm in so much pain. Last one.
The last
Let's do
one.
this.
Last one, which is
Last
Trip.
tiny bit of echo.
Just Trip.
Wonder who this one's about.
I imagine it's probably about Chase arranging the trip. Maybe with Leo?
Maybe, yeah.
We'll find out. There's no date come up yet.
Oh, it's got that music.
Oh, October 2014. So that's the same time as the last one?
Hmm.
I let the sugar cube roll around my tongue, realising how gross sugar really is without anything to go with it. Or maybe it's just the LSD. Does acid taste like anything? I guess the cube is a little bit bitter, sort of. I look over at Jeremy, whose mouth is open. I can see the sugar cube bounce around on his tongue.
You sure there's anything in this? I don't taste it.
It doesn't taste like... was it me doing Jeremy or you?
I can't fucking remember.
I'll do Jeremy, because just in case you're... Otherwise you might be stuck with doing both of them. I think Jeremy was like this, so I'll do Jeremy. It doesn't taste like anything. I let the cube crack around against my teeth a few times before it breaks up and starts dissolving a lot faster. No turning back now. I tap my hoof against the messy floor, making the bed I'm sitting on squeak. Jeremy grins at me. Dude, relax. Remember good vibes, otherwise you're gonna trip bad. Him saying that only makes me more nervous, so I put my face in my paws.
Shit, man, I shouldn't have done this. Can I throw it up?
He laughs at me, but at this point I'm so nervous I can't be mad at him. In a way, I'm latching on to him for guidance because I know he's done this before. No, you can't throw it up. Remember, good vibes. It's about discovering yourself.
Couldn't we at least have done this outside? But this isn't exactly my kind of place. Like, kind of a place I want to find myself in. I glance around Jeremy's trailer and wrinkle my nose. Now, my room isn't spotless, but Jeremy's place is downright nasty, and the smell of pot is a layer of mould and rotten food. The light is a sickly yellow that turns everything in the 70s-ass trailer into piss-stained colour. The walls are panelled wood with missing parts, and it's hard to see through the pallets. To the plates, bottles, and used tissues, gross, and to the yellow, to the orange. I don't know why I read yellow when the word is orange. To the orange shag carpet underneath. No, I don't want that bitch cop finding us. She's already got it out for me. He lays back in the bed, looking at the ceiling, one of his giant ears folding under his head. He lifts his head back up to swat it back into position. You're over your whole anxiety stuff, right? I told you this ain't like pot. It's not something you can fuck around with. Well, you saying shit like that isn't really helping.
I try to keep my voice steady. He watches me for a while, then nods to his shitty TV. Wanna watch something while we wait for Wanna watch something while it sets in? Might help you relax. That does sound like a good idea. I'm still not so sure. Wasn't I doing this to discover myself? Now that I think about it, I'm not really sure why I decided to do this in the first place. Maybe to figure out why I'm so goddamn broken. He takes my silence as a yes and goes over to the splintered shelf and pulls out a VHS. His TV is so fucking old it's got a VHS player built into it. The cartoon got me through a tough time. Through a lot of tough times as a kid. He turns on the TV and sticks it in. I watch the white play letters appear over the blue screen before it flickers out to a fade-out picture of a pink feline thing in a diaper. Distorted music crackles out of the TV's tinny speakers as the cat starts talking to us in a high-pitched whine. I frown.
This is just creepy.
No, it's cause I played it way too many times. Just watch and try and relax. Jeremy comes back to the bed and I lean against the wall while Jeremy curls up next to the pillow. I'm not totally sure what the show is about since the TV's kind of quiet and the audio's all fucked up. All I can figure out is the cat thing and his baby bird friend are trying to make something. A cake, I think, but they're making a huge mess. It feels like one of those shows that might be fun to make fun of with Leo or something, or Chase. He always lacks the stupid shit I say. The kitchen they're in is bright pink and almost stings my eyes. I'm not sure that's because of the distortion or it was like that originally. It starts to hurt a lot, so I start to look up at the ceiling. I notice a whole bunch of holes in it and there's one part of wires hanging out and pipes inside. Suddenly I'm really wishing I'm not here. I start to grip the bed sheets because things are really light. My body's really light like a cloud. And now I know what's starting. I try to relax because what Jeremy said I should do. but now the ceiling is starting to move. The pattern starts swirling around the hole like a whirlpool. No, it's like a black hole. I don't know what to think. It's kind of cool to watch, but that feeling that I'm not connected to anything isn't really fun, and that actually is kind of scaring me. I still feel like I'm floating up towards the black hole, like it's sucking me in. I jolt and take a breath. It sounds sloppy because I'm drilling down my chin and whip my head around to look at Jeremy. He's staring at his paw and looks up and grins at me. You alright? I just stare at him. How long has it been? It's like I just jumped on an aeon between the time I was staring at the black hole and now as I'm staring at Jeremy's face. His eyes are bright white like marbles burning into me. I try to breathe normally and try not to freak out. Hey, watch the TV. It's alright. If it gets too bad, you can just pull out one of your joints. I turn my eyes to the TV and see that pink tiger guy again. He's pointing at the oven, talking to the bird. It's a green bird for some reason. The orange in his wings keeps slipping off, like those feathers or a jacket that you can't keep on. I'm still not completely sure about what's going on, but now I think I'm starting to realise. That tiger wants the bird to get in the oven, to clean it, because there's shit in there between the gratings, stuff that needs to be cleaned off, because they don't have anything to put the cake on before it goes in the oven, so the oven needs to be super clean. But that tiger doesn't really care if the oven is clean. He's going to shut the door as soon as the bird gets inside. He's going to turn it all the way up to 500 degrees and cook the bird alive. Suddenly I'm fucking pissed. Jeremy would watch this shit to freak me out. He didn't really want me to calm down. He wants me to lose my mind watching this cartoon horror show. I look over at him and glare.
What the fuck is this?
He doesn't even look up from his paw. What else is he planning? If he was willing to be this cruel to me, what else is he going to do? Suddenly I'm really scared and breathing hard. I stand up quick, but that's when he finally looks up at me. Carl?
Dude, just leave me alone.
Carl, what are you seeing?
Stop it.
I turn away and stumble to the door. Carl, whatever it is, it's not real. He sounds distracted, like he doesn't even care. He doesn't even get up off the bed to follow me, which is just fine. I stumble out and gasp as the cool air hits my lungs. It feels good because I'm leaving behind whatever bad shit is inside Jeremy's trailer, inside that black hole. And now I just feel sad and lonely. Why the fuck did I hang out with Jeremy? I stand there for a second looking around, and that's when I realise I don't even know where I am. It's dark and there aren't any lights in the street. How the hell am I supposed to get home? Leo can help me. Just thinking about him fills me with a warm feeling like back when I was 17 and Dad just told me he'd pay for everything. I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. I stare at it, and I stare and stare and stare and stare because I don't even know what to push. The little apps keep swirling around like a black hole. I shut my eyes and push where I know the phone app is supposed to be. I open them again and see a keypad. I blow a sigh of relief, but then as soon as I push the first number, all the numbers change. I frown and push the next number, but all the numbers change right before I hit it, and I spend the next 10 minutes, 20, 80, 2 hours trying to figure it out, but it's no use. I keep shaking my phone and swearing, like that's gonna help. I finally give up and stumble to my car, trying to keep my breathing under control, because I'm on the verge of a panic attack and I have a feeling that's gonna be way worse than the one I had at school. For a while I sit there in the seat in the dark, staring out through the windshield. I see the beginnings of swirls and whirlpools again, and then I look down at my hands and that's when I see fur shifting around too. I close my eyes and just think about how nice the cold leather feels against my thighs. It's the drug. It's the LSD. I'm having a bad trip, I know this, but just knowing that still scares me. At that moment I hear and feel something run past the window, then bounce over the hood of my car. I whip my head up and stare at the blackness and feel my throat close up.
Please.
I say it to no one but everyone at the same time. It comes out strangled and whiny because I'm about to start crying. Home. I need to get home. I turn on the car but I'm really not sure where I'm at. GPS, that'll help. I lean down towards the console trying to find the right button. Again, things are moving around and bright blue LED lights are blurring and leaving long trails in my vision. I have to close my eyes again, stab at different buttons, scaring the shit out of myself when music starts blaring. Psychedelic rock is a lot less fun now. That thing is out there and I don't want to attract it with noise. I manage to turn the music off and what seems like a turn until later I hear the words I've been looking for. State your destination. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
State your destination.
Oh.
Home.
I almost sob it out, leaning back in the seat and covering my face, sighing with relief.
Navigating to Pueblo. You should reach your destination in 3 hours and 32 minutes.
My eyes fly open.
No.
I struggle to remember the stupid name I gave it.
No, fat ass.
For some reason it's only hitting me now how stupid that name is, how unfunny and immature it is. How I've been so lazy I haven't taken the time to change the name of my stupid GPS that I named 5 years ago. Again, I feel the bony skeletal thing rush by in the passenger window, dragging its fingers along the glass.
Fat ass. Navigate home. Sorry. Navigating to the University of Pueblo. No! You should reach your destination in 3 hours and 39 minutes. No!
I slam my fist onto the console, about ready to run out of the car into the darkness screaming for help, not just because I'm scared, but because sitting still is almost as bad as being lost. I need to move. My legs are bouncing up and down, hitting the steering wheel, and it feels like I'm peeing my pants. I take a few deep breaths. I can do this, I just need to calm down.
Fat ass.
Stupid.
Stupid. Immature. Yes?
I pause because I know it's not supposed to do that. Or is it? I try to remember what I was going to say.
Yes?
The tone is different, taunting, like he knows it's fucking with me. He doesn't wait for me to say anything.
Navigating to the thing. You have arrived. Your destination is on your left.
I cower in my seat because I can feel it standing right next to me outside the window, staring in at me through the glass. I cover my face with my paws. I feel tears leaking through my fingers. I stare at that for a long time. Hours stretch into weeks, stretch into months, stretch into infinity, and I fall back into the black hole. It stretches my mind, starts pulling it apart along with the rest of my body. I start to give in, start to give up.
Navigating home. You should reach your destination in 3 minutes.
Slowly I bring my paws down to my face. The clock says 2:23. If that's right, it's been 2 hours since I ate that sugar cube. Looking out the window to see the lights still on in Jeremy's trailer, I wonder if he's going through the same thing as me. But I'm calm now because I know why the GPS was freaking out earlier. It was stupid of me to lose my shit like that, especially now I know that Chase is in the car. Home from spring break. He's been fucking with me, trying to get me to go to Pueblo with him. I remind him that I'm tripping the fuck out and him messing with me in any way wasn't a good idea. I look around and can't see him, but that's okay, it's just nice that he's here. I put that car in drive and pull into the road, start driving where the GPS is telling me to go. I'm chill now, but I still feel like something's following me. It makes me feel better that Chase is telling me about school, how much he misses me. I think I feel him caress one of my horns, which is okay because it feels nice. My car rolls along the road and over time things start to blur together. Again, time stretches and distorts, but it's okay because Chase is talking to me. And his tone is then his tone gets more urgent. He's trying to warn me about something. I frown, dread starting to roll again in my gut again. What now? I think about looking into my rearview mirror. I don't want to, but I do, and as soon as I do I'm screaming. Red, bony with black holes for eyes, and something grabs my neck. I let out a long, strangled moan of horror, and my hoof slammed to gas. That moment stretches, distorts, alters, and changes like a VHS Jeremy had shown me in that lifetime ago. I go back and forth. I repeat and loop, the thing killing me forever. I'm lifted out of my seat and head slams into something, sending white light flashing through my eyes. An explosion hits me in the stomach and chest, and now I can't breathe. Little hard pebbles pelt the back of my head as what seems like sand being poured out onto paper echoes in my ears. Slowly I sag back down in my seat and my vision is full of white, a balloon pushing out the steering wheel. On that white are little dark red spots that keep popping up in different spots. I cough and then there are a million of them. I stare at them, confused as they start to dance around and whirlpool. I crash the car. I also realised that I killed Chase. He'd been sitting in the car with me, trusting me with driving, and he'd hit the windshield without the horns and skull to protect him. I start sobbing. Liquids run down my face, tears, maybe snot, but it's dark and I realise it's blood. It's probably all three of those things. Time stretches, distorts, loops, repeats. Somehow I get home. Somehow I ditch the car and ran up the road all the way to my house. The entire way I tried dialing 911 on my phone to get Chase some help, but the buttons won't hold still. I couldn't look at the time, but I know he's lying in a bloody heap on the passenger side footwell. As I stumbled towards the house, I realised the thing is still waiting for me. He jumped out of the car and he'd hidden in the porch. I whimper and stare at the shadows, then I run to the house. I stumble back and forth, the ground sinking towards the window wells like quicksand, sucking me in. I dodge around them, pulling my hooves out of the sinking grass, about to get stuck. Once I get to the back door, I shove my paws into my pockets, brought any keys because I left them in the ignition. I sob again, then look around desperately. The longer I hold still, the deeper I sink into the ground. Again, I almost give in, but then I see the treehouse. Like my legs are made of lead, I stumble across the yard, feeling the thing crawling after me. I leap up and cling to the ladder before scurrying up, my hooves slipping on the wood as I feel the tree starting to sink as well. I fumble up through the opening, breaking through the cobwebs and snorting up dust. I crawl to a corner and curl up, covering my eyes and facing the wall. I beg Chase to forgive me now because I can't get him help, because now I'm stuck on the sinking ship with a monster. I curl up tighter and tighter, so tight that I have become my own source of gravity, my own little black hole, sucking up everything around me, stretching it thin, then tearing it apart. It's only then that everything settles. My parents found me 3 hours later after someone reported the accident to the cops a few hours after I'd left. My dad took responsibility for it so I wouldn't get tested for anything. He made up some excuse about walking to the house because he forgot his cell phone. I guess they didn't wonder why blood was everywhere when my dad has no injuries. I realised what happened, it was just a bad trip, but I didn't have any plans to try it again. I guess it helped me discover things about myself. Things I'd rather not have found out. Even now, irrational fears get the better of me and I'm still paranoid as fuck. Like everyone's keeping a big secret from me. Sometimes I'm positive that they're hiding the fact they found a dead otter in the car. Interesting.
I mean, that ties into Jenna's route, where Jeremy was saying that, you know, Chase had Carla come to him for stronger shit.
Yeah,
and he was saying meth, but yeah. And also, of course, Carl's accident before the beginning of the story.
Mm-hmm.
And Shadow Chase, like, all of that was horrible. What you didn't get to see was Jodie coming in from work and looking at me in confusion while I did the spooky voiceover for the, like, auto GPS thing. It was quite funny.
Oh god, okay.
But fucking hell, we have finished Echo.
We have completely finished Echo now. All the side bits and everything.
Oh, so thoughts? What are your thoughts, Papsky?
I loved it. I think it was a very well told story. I think it explored very different types of horror. I think my biggest criticism of it is it takes so long to get to what I could basically just refer to as the good stuff. But the good stuff is very good.
Yeah. There's a lot of build-up. There's a lot of slow characterization.
I think when we mentioned the Stephen King thing before, it's very much like that. It takes quite a number of chapters to get properly into the story. To get properly, like, you know, oh, we're doing this, oh, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Like, this is the build-up that you need to explain for everything to kind of make any sense.
Like, it's not so much cutting out scenes, for the most part. It's more like trimming down scenes.
Yes.
And that's it, really. Like, that's the only criticism, and, like, a couple of typos.
A couple of typos.
Like,
there were one or two points that did go a little bit longer when they could probably have been better if they were a bit shorter, like Carl's route especially.
Yeah. Yeah, Carl's route could have, like, lost one of those routes through a thing.
They could have lost a loop, yeah.
Yeah. And it would have flowed a bit better. TJ, not sure what they would have cut out of TJ's route, to be honest.
I mean,
like, the slow descent of that.
TJ's route kind of mirrors Leo's in many ways, though.
Yeah.
It's the same story told from a different perspective.
Well, it's the same kind of abuse, but it's whether or not you're a victim or the perpetrator.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. Like, are you the fuckhead abusing your boyfriend, or are you the fuckhead that's getting abused and having your legs ripped off?
Yeah.
Like, both of them very tough. Jenna's route, again, needed a little trimming in places, but I really loved it once the mass hysteria set in.
Yes.
That was really good. Flynn's route, no complaints. Don't change a thing. Like, I fucking love Flynn's route.
Flynn's route was very brutal, but it was also probably the best one for being like blunt horror.
Yeah. It's horror start to finish. You don't get too much fluffing around with it.
I think the only criticism I had with Jenna's route was there wasn't... everything changed on a single question.
Yeah.
And that single question was really early on. And whether you answered this town basically deserves to die or not, there wasn't much difference, so it did feel like we literally had to go through and do the whole thing again, and there's only minor differences.
Yeah.
Till the end, and it just felt like maybe it could have been better if that point had been a little further on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was still good.
Or if we'd had a couple of times in which you spoke about Echo.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what I was under the impression about.
Yeah, I think if you'd had maybe 2 or 3 times where you spoke about Echo and you kind of think, should this town be saved? And then you'd done, if overall you had this kind of outlook on it, it'd be different from if you had overall this kind of outlook on it. But again, I think you'd probably still have to play quite a lot of the story again to try and change that, even though there won't be much change in between.
Like Leo's route, I'd say don't change, because it manages to hit such a unique kind of horror. You know, it's kind of got that dark tragedy to it. And it's brutal, but on an emotional level.
Yeah, I think...
Like, again, the leg choppy off sequence. Horrifying. Absolutely horrifying.
Yeah, the feeling at the end when you're sitting there and you're like, okay, and it's like, yes, Chase he's brought you into a room, he's vaguely patched your legs together, they're still bleeding, and he's just like, oh, it's fine, we'll just hug and everything will be fine. And you're like, oh dear. And
you just get little, and it keeps cutting back to when they were kids.
Yeah, it keeps being flashbacks, and yeah.
I'm gonna be with this wolf for the rest of my life.
It is genuinely relatively horrifying, but yeah. I think
Janice definitely gets up there as one of the spookiest little side characters.
I think
because... Did she cook a man in that one route?
Yeah, I think...
She cooked Julian, didn't she, in that one route?
I think so.
Yeah.
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 But yeah, it would be intriguing to see what... I think because some of the characters kind of come and go in like little bits of the madness.
Yeah.
It's intriguing to see if how much it kind of all pieces together. But it's but no, I think it's very well written. I think
definitely.
I think it took a lot longer for us to get through it than I think we realised it was going to.
Yeah.
But it's been really good. And I think, looking at the future ones, I think a couple of them are still not fully finished. I think one of them is due to be fully finished soon, because I think one's waiting for its 1.0 patch.
Yeah.
I think one of them, is the Route 87 or 85 one, whatever it is. I think that one's finished.
Cool. Because that's the one with their kids, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
And then we got Smoke Room, which is coming out now, and I know that because the fandom is still going mad about it.
Yeah, Smoke Room I think is the one that's still is the one I think it's awaiting its 1.0.
Yeah.
But it's due it like this month or next month.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Smoke Room. Yeah. Definitely. I have heard good things about the Smoke Room. Also because that sequence in Echo is just mortifying.
It's intriguing to see what they do with it, considering what they've basically had about the Smoke Room in previous, I guess, installments.
It's just a pile of horse cock going in.
Yeah.
Can I go on record that Johnny is not looking forward to that again?
Beware, the Lord of the Land approaches.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. What were you saying?
Welcome, later.
Jodie is not looking forward to that again.
Oh yeah, you walked in the middle of us like reading that out.
Yes.
Welcome, Hado. How you doing, my friend? How was your stream? What were you playing? Baldur's Gate 3? Ah, fantastic. Fantastic. Alright. Alright, well, we've just literally finished doing Echo. We were...
Definitely unique and
Yeah.
like well worth playing yourself. Would highly recommend.
Yeah, I would definitely say for free, especially for free games, there is a lot of... If you like... I suppose if you just like visual novels in general, but if you like sort of horror style visual novels, I definitely would say that it does a lot more than most I've looked at.
Yeah, the horror is very unique in it. Like, I can't really point to anything else other than maybe Stephen King
Yeah.
as a comparison.
Yes, it's because it takes such a long time to... It takes quite a long time in slow burn style to do things, but it does things... That has a good payoff for it.
Yeah.
The speed and the gears that go up is quite well at the end.
The horror wouldn't work so well if you didn't spend so long dealing with them at fucking Carl's birthday party going like, where the fuck's he gone this time?
Dealing with the going to the show and having the which person do you sleep on, and it's like this makes no difference to the story.
Yeah.
And then you get to the later bits and yeah, it's just there's a lot of just how different each of the stories are as well.
Very much so. You get a completely different kind of horror almost.
So I suppose we should do a final ranking of which ones we think were the best. Now we've got all the story. So which one do you think was the worst of all of them?
Probably Carl's. Carl's route was probably the weakest, if I had to point to one.
I think so, yeah. I think Carl's route it's a good idea, but
there were some parts which hit really, really well, and some parts which were like, my god, this is dragging.
It did. I think Carl's route is the one that does have the only sort of negative side of it is it did feel like it dragged, and we're going round this circle again, and we're going round this circle again.
No one knew what the fuck they were trying to do.
Yeah.
And it just went on for too long. And it was like, well, we escaped that one. And okay, we're trying to find a thing. Well, we haven't found the thing. So we're going to talk some more. And what are we going to do? Okay, we're going to try and find a thing, but we can't find the thing. So let's talk some more.
And all the characters are kind of beginning to behave weird because you don't know if they're actually their characters, if they've changed or what they're doing, and who's possessed by what. And
though I do think it's quite smart that you get Carl's arc being mirrored by his possession. I like that. But the fact that Jenna's ghost just didn't fucking say anything to help at all.
Yeah.
It just felt like the tiniest bit too contrived.
Yeah,
you know?
it did feel a little bit shoehorned in to kind of answer a couple of questions rather than all the questions it could have answered, if you know what I mean. So yeah.
You would feel that it was James the one with Jenna, or was that John? I can't remember, honestly, because they have very similar names. But Jenna's ghost would have probably wanted to say, hey, I didn't murder all those native kids. Why didn't Jenna's ghost say that they didn't murder native kids? Her ghost is native.
Yeah, there is still a couple of like little sort of question marks as to why they did a certain way. But literally
it probably is something to do with the entity. Like, I think they kind of mention it at one point. You know, when Chase overhears the two ghosts like talking to each other, and you know, it kind of mentions the entity in the town saying something along the lines of, "Why does it do these things to us? Give us more chances of power than take it away." You know? Yeah,
I think also things like when it was building up to, oh, there's a newspaper article we need to find, and there's lots of, oh, you'll find it and then I'll be proven right, and it's like, it just felt like it was building to it rather than actually saying, you know, oh, this is what's happening and my proof will be found and it will be this, but instead it was just like, I can't tell you anything till you found the proof first.
Yeah.
Which did seem a little bit weird.
Just a tiny bit too contrived in places. Just needs like one more go around in the draft room.
Yes.
And would be perfect.
I think if they tightened up some of the text, made it a little bit less vague. I know they were trying to go full.
Keep the mystery going.
Yeah, it was trying to keep the mystery going, but one less loop and a little bit less vague, and they probably would have had the writing perfect for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you could have even just had, like, a couple of lines in which Jenna's ghost is trying to say but can't get the words out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah. I think as far as all the routes go, I think Carl's is definitely the weakest.
Yeah.
Looking back. Because I think...
As for best, Flynn.
Best has definitely been Flynn. I think the
Yeah.
kind of... Leo, TJ and Jenna all kind of intersperse as to which one is the sort of in-between for the rest, because
Yeah.
they all do certain things very well.
Mm.
And I think
Like
Leo...
the psychosis of TJ's route, fucking brilliant. The tragic horror of Leo's, love that. Jenna, that one was just mortifying in the psychosis kind of mass hysteria sort of way.
Yeah.
Desperately trying to keep the group together.
Mm-hmm.
And also you had body horror in that one. Like, a lot of body horror.
I mean, you also have body horror in Leo's at the end, but just, yeah. But yeah.
But that scene in which Flynn walks into the mines thinking it's a smoke room and seeing an adult Sydney fucked me up.
Yeah.
That one's not okay. I'm not okay with that.
Yeah. I think definitely Flynn's route was the strongest of all of them. And it was a very interesting one to start on as well.
Yes.
Just by random accident.
I don't think a lot of people start on Flynn.
No, I think you said a lot of people start on Leo.
Either Leo or TJ, I've noticed. Those two tend to be the ones people start with because it's, oh, he's upset. Someone's just been verbally ripped into shreds. I've got to make sure he's all right. Or it's, oh my lord, look at that sexy wolf man. Must have the sexy wolf man.
With his West Country accent.
Oh yes, the West Country Mexican wolfman.
West Country Mexican wolfman.
Yeah, okay. So Leo, that character.
Yes.
He's meant to be Mexican in the story.
Uh-huh.
Like he speaks in little bits of Spanish throughout. But Pupsky, when I said like, yes, Mexican character, Pupsky just started doing a West Country accent.
I hate every good time for that. You got that bottle of wine over there?
Yes. Do you want some of it?
Yes.
There's not a lot in that one, but there's another bottle in the fridge.
There is,
God.
yes. So, have me.
Either way, final thoughts, Pupsky?
Final thoughts. I'm definitely...
Out of 10.
I would probably give it a solid 9.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Because
9 out of 10.
Then again, I'm someone that doesn't tend to give 10s because I think that there's always something that you can be done better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say solid 9 because there's definitely been some absolute love and what good writing put into this.
100%. Like, talent and love went into this fucking thing. And honestly, it's one of the scariest things I've read in a while. Like, I was listening to an audiobook, like, telling on YouTube of, like, scariest story I ever heard, and, like, it starts off and I'm like, okay, there's some good intrigue. And then at one point, like somewhere around a third of the way through, my brain clicked, like, oh, the missing people are women, so it's probably just going to be sexual predation, isn't it? Let me guess, it's sexual predation. It was just that. And I'm like, this isn't fucking scary, this is just reality.
Yeah.
No, it's not horror. Don't mistake horror with, like, crime novel.
Yeah.
But weird.
I think people misunderstand that horror doesn't mean it's got to be horrifying. Horror means that it's got to be the genuine atmospherically feeling of creeping. The sort of creeping dread works very well with horror. But I think a lot of people just see horror and they go, oh, it must be, horror meaning like... I think also things like body horror and stuff has kind of made people assume that horror is just, oh, it's going to shock me.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't shock me, it's not proper horror.
Well,
and
it's just like, oh, how dark is this? And it's like, no, don't make it fucking dark.
Yeah.
Make it unsettling. Make it, Chase walking back from the fucking mine and hearing the word dig. Just do it in his head, and he digs up a corpse.
Yep.
picks out the card and goes, "Huh, Sam. It's good to know his name at last." That's how you fucking do horror. Doing horror is having like the characters slide on screen for the entire game, visual novel style, and then having Shadow Chase walk on in bad, horrible animation.
Horror
for
is
1 moment.
horror is changing what the established rules you have in one little way or one little
It's
element.
constantly making you feel unsafe, basically.
It's you establish a set of rules which people settle into, and then you find a way to unsettle those rules.
Yeah, every single time. Like, oh hey, we've just introduced the idea of making choices in a visual novel. How novel an idea, but boom, ching. Now pick what intrusive thought you get. Shove him. Like,
Yeah. It's there's definitely some really, really well done bits of this. There's some properly fantastical bits to this that have been very, very well done. And I think, as I said earlier, the problem I think a lot of people have with it is it's buried so far down in the story that a lot of people will start it. They'll get like a couple hours in, because it took us like 6-7 hours to get to the choice point.
Yeah.
And that was us doing it relatively fast. I get the feeling that people will not sit through the 6 hours to get to the really good bits at the end, and I think that's the only thing that's that, and whenever we say to anyone, "What is Echo?" and you go, "Oh, it's a gay furry dating sim, a horror game masking as a gay furry dating sim," and a lot of people will go, "Nope."
Yeah,
and just
you
tune
get
out.
that gut visceral reaction of it's the visual novel dating simulator, and it's pretending to be scary. No,
Yeah.
You're like, no, it's actually fucking good.
I think also a lot of people would, like, if they did the first 6 hours, would just be like, "This is not scary. This is not. This is just this."
It's billed more as a like dating sim. With psychological elements. That's how it's kind of billed when you look at it on itch.io.
Yeah.
And it's because it's actually trying to fish for the gay furries to be like, oh, I want to sleep with that wolf. I want to date that wolf. Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. Like, it definitely pulls out of the rug out of you for of their like standard audience. But trying to like put this game forward to anyone who isn't that tiny demographic is a nightmare.
Yes, definitely.
I can see you over there. Look, it's good.
Is Jodie just gonna rolling their eyes at you?
Jodie is raising her hand and like, yep, me too. What I said. It kind of horrifies anyone who's not a gay furry. But like, there is a lot to really appreciate about this story. Genuinely speaking, there are parts of it emotionally that just sit in my head every single day. I keep going back to that one TikTok which paired it with a FNAF song of all fucking things, but the song actually fit this better than it fit FNAF. Like, I can't get over it. You know the one that goes with the below the surface and it goes into the mine, and that one.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you again. I fucking love that little video.
Awesome. Yeah. But yeah, I think the only real final thoughts I kind of have on it, I think we've kind of covered a lot now.
Yeah.
But I definitely would recommend it. I definitely think. I do think that the only caveat really I have of recommending it is telling people, yes, you have to get past the like 8 hours of the start before.
But once you have, it's good.
Yeah, once you've got past the sort of 8 hours of the start and you're at the choice point of who to choose, save there and literally you can ignore most of the start. The start was just really to get the character baseline.
Yeah.
And just go from everything from then on. And everything from now on is either a slow burn horror or a slow burn horror style. And everything from now on is a lot better and goes at a decent pace and will properly hook you. But I think having to have that caveat of telling people, yeah, you need to get past that big section at the start is a problem.
I feel like the start is more interesting to people who have already played it as well.
Because there's little Easter egg points, yeah.
Yeah, you get all the Easter eggs afterwards. At the time, first time going through, you're like, okay, right, yep, they're talking about anime, great, lovely.
Yep.
And then you realise, like, oh fuck, you can see the strained relationships even here.
Yep. And you're like, I wonder how it's gonna go, and you're just, oh, okay. How long have I got of this? Oh, 4 days, like 3 days. It's Tuesday, is it Wednesday or Tuesday or Wednesday that the fight scene's on.
I think it's Monday, and then you start on the Tuesday properly.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
And
just.
then Wednesday is Carl's birthday party, and it's
Yeah.
usually by Thursday everything goes to hell.
Yeah.
I get this going.
But yeah, I'm going to head off now.
All right,
Because
well.
we're going to attempt to record the first part of that Warcraft thing, maybe, if Joe's
right.
still feeling up for it.
Well, this will do us for Echo. So this is the end of Echo.
Yeah.
Whether we do, well, hopefully we'll do one of the other ones in the new year.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll work that out in time. So yes.
Yeah.
Let me just see if anyone else is on, because I think I'll also just wind up there. Do you know anyone on? Bang's on, Cleaver's on. I probably should read into Cleaver because I've not actually. Oh, that's that fucking guy again. So I'll just explain. When I say that fucking guy again, it's that advert again with the guy in the yellow suit that I fucking hate.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Is Click actually playing horror? He might be. He says he's got the horror tag, so I'm assuming he's actually playing horror. Compared to the game. Alright.
He's been using a horror tag for a while.
Well, let's rate it and click. So yes, thank you everyone for watching along. Thank you everyone for going all the way through Echo with us. Yeah, we will be back soon with more. Actually, our next streams. I should probably do that. Tomorrow night should be me and Belry. Whether that falls through or not, I don't know. I have to wait and find out from Belry. Tuesday should be. I think it's just me doing indie horror. I might do the Advent calendar. You are more than welcome to jump in and join if you want, Rowan, because I'll be possibly doing the Advent calendar, which is like 6 hours of weird indie game.
I will see how I do. I have therapy tomorrow.
No problem. Let me know on Tuesday if you're up for it.
Yes.
Then Tuesday morning horror as usual. Wednesday will be me, Tom and Zeph, and hopefully I'm out playing some more Lethal Company. Thursday will be more on the horror. Friday will be again some more Lethal Company. I don't think we're doing anything afterwards because AJ didn't get back to me last week. And then Saturday, nothing on Saturday. Sunday is our Rambling and Secret Santa,
Yeah.
which hopefully we'll have folk for. So
That
yeah.
should be fun.
Let us just raid out to Mr. Click then. But yes, thank you everyone. Wish you all the best of the rest of your week. I think everyone has dropped off as we say we're going to raid out, but we're going to raid out anyway. So yeah, even though there's only 2 people in chat, let's just raid out anyway. So yeah, let's raid. Till next time folks, you all take care. Good night.
Bye.